Hey everybody. Um, I just wanted to share something that I made in a recovery rehab program some years back. And it's one of those rocks where it's like we had like a table full of rocks and everybody had to pick a rock and decorate it with like a little motivational like painting thing. And so my rock says, I am meant to have a magical life. Clearly, I'm quite the artist. It's got a little moon scene with some stars. For a paint job, I was honestly pretty proud of it, but that was my motivational saying. I'm meant to have a magical life, and I love my rock. I love it, and that's kind of what I wanted to share because that's something I tell myself in times of like stress, which is as I've said before, it's been a constant off and on battle with my mind to not live in a state of anxiety anymore. I've lived for decades in this fear state. And when I go deeper than the anxiety, I think it really stems from just a perceived unworthiness that somehow like I don't fit in and there I'm never going to fit in because like I'm just ill fitting within reality. And so I'm trying to navigate from this place of life is magical and I'm magical, and fuck everybody who has ever said otherwise. And I think it's a really effective trick to kind of make us seem like we're just, I don't know, like it's just evolution. And when I look at humankind, I'm like, no matter what, even if we did just evolve, we are so different from every other animal. The fact that we dress ourselves, and I know animals, I think, are all so much smarter. Hell, for that matter, plants are smarter, I think, than we um, have given them credit for. But we are just different. We are a different animal. The way we dress, the way we communicate, just the level of complexity to our personalities and our social structures. I mean, we can't be compared to any other animal just, by the fact that we, dress ourselves in clothing. And to just kind of be like, oh, we're just like these lumps of meat needing to like toe the lawn and provide for our family and just like pay the bills and wait to die. What a disservice, to every single person that's ever lived who has like gone through life just feeling like worthless and has never gotten the opportunity to course correct that thought that maybe we are on this planet to do whatever we want to do, and maybe we can like take that power back and say that we do have the opportunity and the option to have a magical life and to have like a life worth living, and we are worthy of happiness and peace of mind and joy. And man, how lucky are we that we can come to that conclusion while we're still alive. So we're magic. I'm magical. We all are. And it's beautiful. It's a beautiful time to be alive. And we're so lucky and privileged that we even have the option to come to that conclusion. I've thought about it before, even having mental problems and having like an existential crisis is really a privilege. When you are fighting to live, you can't, anxiety is like the least of your problems. And we are so privileged and so comfortable in our lives that we have to create turmoil and drama and strife just to, I think, on a soul level, in a way, have something to overcome, to have some meaning, because it's supposed to be hard. It's supposed to be a learning planet. This is supposed to be life lessons. Um, we have the mind capacity to be self-aware. So like, what are we going to do with it? It's going to be a challenge, and it's not going to be easy, but that's kind of the point. So when I started to really like look at life, like, okay, can I have an incredible life? What do I want to do? What do I want to do? And for God, like 34 years, it was just like, well, nothing, nothing. I never had, I wasn't one of those kids who like did something obvious, I wasn't into sports. I didn't have a hobby. Um, I wasn't like a singer or an artist. I had little things here and there that would kind of interest me. I actually tried to keep a journal once, and that was like a clusterfuck. My mom found my diary, she read it, and it was like a little scandalous for the time. So that was a problem. And plus, I didn't have the discipline either to just like, oh yeah, I'm gonna keep a journal. I wish I was one of those kids that did something, but I didn't do anything. So I couldn't look back on things that I used to do in the past because I never used to do anything. And so I would just like ruminate and worry. And I never had, like a North Star. And we get to pick that. So I meant to have a magical life. And I found these two things also: walking, getting a dog, huge. I never thought I had the mental capability, and quite frankly, I didn't for a long time to have a dog and to take care of a pet. So I highly recommend getting a dog, getting a pet, something that you can like love and take care of and form a bond with. It's a beautiful thing. And I walked the dog, and I found these two treasures, and I swear to God, it might sound strange, but I feel like they were meant for me to find them, like little like winks from the universe or something. That's like, okay, if you open your eyes, like, open up your mind, your perception, your real eye, your sight, open up your perception to the idea that we are this amazing creature that is consciously like interacting with ourselves, with our surroundings, with the universe, then we will find like little nuggets of confirmation. And I found this stone. I looked it up, and I totally forgot the name of it, but it's just I don't know, one of these little stones. It's affordable, it's cheap, but it was so cool to be walking and to find this on the ground. And I found this broken keychain that says, I make a difference. It was from like a teacher's keychain or something, and it broke. And it's a little apple, and it says, I make a difference. And I was like, man, these are on separate occasions. I just looked down and found these little tidbits that, wow, I'm meant to have a magical life because life is magical. And I am. And this whole thing is so beautiful. And I feel like I say that a lot, and I don't know how else to put it. And it's crazy to say that, because I used to just, God, just be so filled with just sadness and self-loathing that I just didn't get it. I thought life wasn't for me, and I wasn't for life. I didn't fit in anywhere. And it wasn't until I just really started to consciously begin to, and it's an ongoing process, it's a lifelong journey, everything is, of just dropping any expectations of trying to fit in anywhere, just fit in with myself, see the beauty of life, and actually answer myself like, what do I want to do? Who do I want to be? Where do I want to go? And like I said, I didn't have like any leads. I never wanted to really do much of anything. I was just like, oh, I can't do this, can't do that. So when I started to be like, well, what do I want to do? I'm just gonna go with that. Um, I didn't know what to do, but I was okay with it. I just started to like say yes, and just open myself up to the possibility that, okay, life is magic. I am magic. I am worthy. This is all good. Like Bob Marley, everything's going to be all right. It really is. So I just started to say yes, like to myself. And something in you outside of like the chaos of just, your everyday like da 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 da, like racing thoughts and anxiety. And God, I know that mind. It's fucking maddening. It's maddening to be in your head and to be stuck in it and to feel like you can't get any reprieve from it or control over your own thoughts. It's very frustrating. But not that type of thinking, but the deeper knowing, like your soul knowing, your true self, like the you behind the noise. Eckhart Tolle, we are the sky. Our thoughts are the clouds. We are so much more than our thoughts. So the real us, that the sky us, has this will tell us, and if we just have to like open up our ears, our eyes, our minds, our hearts, open up ourselves to listen to the real self, our true self, say, hey, I want to do that. I could do that. I want to go there, or see that thing, or experience this thing, or try this thing. And for so often I would brush myself off when I was like, oh, I'd like to do that, immediately, like the bullshit mind that is just like the external, the zeitgeist that we've been conditioned to believe, it is us, would immediately have a million reasons for why I couldn't. Oh yeah, well, you can't do that. You wouldn't be good at it. You would suck. It's not for you. Somebody else does it better. That doesn't make any sense. You can't afford it. Blah 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 blah. And I would just like write myself off. But when I just stopped doing that and just started saying yes to everything that I wanted to do, and stopped holding myself back, it's like you blossom and your life blossoms, and the magic of life, and the actual gift of the present just unfolds in front of you in little ways and in big ways. And it's like, wow, okay, here I am. I have a hobby, I have a passion, I have a purpose. These things just unfold for you by just saying yes. And it's like, God, you've been there all along. The God in you, that version of us, the real us. And I don't know who said it first, but I've heard a lot of people say it. We are an eternal spiritual being having a temporary human experience, and I really like that. um, I love to think of it that way. It's like, man, this is temporary and doesn't have to be so serious. And then when you start to say yes to yourself and see ourselves in this life for what it is, there's this beautiful, um, magical, wondrous event of consciousness. It stops being like so serious, and you don't have to take I don't have to take myself so seriously. I can just like open myself up to the magic of life. So that's my 2 cents. I am meant to have a magical life. We all are. And fuck the noise. It's all noise. We can do what we want. You guys have a good night.